Hello, children. I'm Victoria Carlton. I love reading kids' stories, and this is one of my favourite Christmas stories. It's from this book, The Christmas Treasury by Sally Grindley, and the story inside here is called Good News. Good News. And it's all about a little sheep, just like this one, all about a little sheep. So we've got Jesus in the background here because we know that Jesus was the good news of Christmas. And also we know that here we had Joseph and we had Mary and we had shepherds and we had kings, lots and lots of people in the stable, and of course lots of smelly animals as well. So this is a story of a very little sheep and what happened to it. It starts off on a very cold, frosty night where the flock of sheep were all together and most of them were asleep. An incredibly bright star had lit up the sky. And I've got a star here just to remind us what it might have looked like. A very, very bright star had lit up the sky. So the little sheep couldn't sleep because it was looking at the bright star. I've never seen a star do that before, the smallest sheep said to herself. I've never seen a star twinkle like that. Bah, said the sheep next to her. Why are you always waking me up? There's a really bright star up there, said the smallest sheep. What do you think it might mean? It means that you've made me cross for waking me up, said the sheep next to her, and she shuffled away and hid behind the rest of the flock. The smallest sheep just stood there and stared up at the star. She knew that it was really, really important. Bah, quaked the sheep. Is there a wolf coming? There's an amazingly bright star in the sky. What do you think it means? And the very grumpy sheep next to her said, It means that you frightened the life out of me. Go away, leave me alone and let me sleep. And the little sheep scampered off and hid in the middle of the flock. The smallest sheep asked one sheep after another to look at the star, but none of them cared. None of them wanted to know. They just wanted to sleep. It was night time and that meant sleep time. So if none of the other sheep would go with her, she decided that she would set off by herself. So she went across the field and she started to feel lonely. And then she looked up at the sky and she saw the star and she kept on going. She scampered along a very muddy path and then she went through some woods, and she was so scared going through the woods because she was scared of wolves. But she managed to get to the other side and the star was shining even more brightly. Then she started to feel very lonely and she wondered if she should go home. She was so cold. She was so cold and she felt lonely and she thought, what do I do? Do I keep following this star or do I go home? What do you think she should do? But she sort of had this feeling that something amazing was going to happen this night and she wanted to be part of it. So she kept on walking. I'm going on a journey and it's going to have a happy ending, she told herself. Even when she heard noises of wild animals and she heard wolves howling, she refused to turn back and she kept on going. At last, she came to a town. She'd never been to a town before. She wandered along one street and then another, trying to avoid all the humans that she saw. And then suddenly, everyone seemed to be going in the same direction. So she went with them, carried along by the sense of excitement. And when they stopped at last, she pushed her way through their legs to get to the front. And she found herself in a stable. And in the middle of the stable was a little wooden trough with lots and lots of straw on it. And you can see the inside of the trough just behind me. The smallest sheep was astonished to see that the light from the star was shining right on to the face of the tiny baby lying in the trough. "What's a baby doing in there in a manger?" she asked herself. She gazed around. There were other animals. There were shepherds kneeling down, and a man and a woman, Joseph and Mary. Everyone looked so happy that it made the smallest sheep feel really happy inside too. "It's good news, isn't it?" whispered a donkey to her. The smallest sheep nodded, but she didn't know what he meant. "It's amazing that a baby is going to save us," the donkey continued. "What's he going to save us from?" asked the smallest sheep. "Bad things, I expect," said the donkey. "Like wolves?" asked the smallest sheep. The donkey nodded. "He's going to make the world a much better place." "Whoa, that donkey must be very special," said the smallest sheep. "Can I tell my family and my friends about him?" "Tell everyone about him," said the donkey. "Everyone likes to hear good news." So that's just what the smallest sheep did. And just like the smallest sheep told everyone all about Jesus, we can also tell about the good news, can't we? The good news of Christmas, that Jesus came to save the world. Thank you for listening so well to my story. Well done. See you next time. Bye.
For more of Victoria Carlton's tips, go to YouTube and search Victoria Carlton Programs. Victoria's products are available on Teachers Pay Teachers. They cover literacy, emotional intelligence, and Sunday school lessons. Victoria's website address, blog, and email address are on the screen in front of you. Victoria Carlton reserves the right of copyright on all her products.